Look at the price of eggs. Another dancehall artist arrested by the police. Another man gunned down by the police. This is Undiluted News, Mikey Bones reporting. A setback to public health efforts as concern over bird flu grows. The Trump administration fired nearly half of an elite U.S. epidemiology program known as the Disease Detectives on Friday, according to people familiar with the situation. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the recently approved health secretary, has promised to restructure the country's health agencies, and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is pushing to reduce the size of the federal government. At the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, a top epidemiologist stated, "We are firing the people who probably have more expertise than anyone else in the country collectively because we are on the verge of possible another pandemic." This was established in 1951. The Epidemic Intelligence Service is a 2-year postdoctoral training program whose officers have been on the front line of investigative outbreaks from the first Ebola case in Africa in the 1970s to the earliest case reports of COVID-19 in the United States. So what is happening is Elon Musk is shutting down companies, but in the same light, he just gave one of his companies a $300 million contract and no one is talking about it. Oh, by the way, last year, all you could hear about is how expensive Biden had made eggs. People were complaining left, right, and center that eggs were selling for $7 and the price was too high, and when President Trump comes in, he will fix the price. Well, over the weekend, I went to Publix and the price was $12. So I guess to them, $12 is less than $7. A man was shot dead along Washington Boulevard in St. Andrew allegedly during an altercation with the police, and the Independent Commission of Investigation is now looking into that incident. 45-year-old Mark Dale of Kingston 20 Simmons Park was shot Tuesday night around 9 o'clock. A supposedly illegal firearm was confiscated. Members of the Area 4 Fugitive Apprehension Team were reportedly on patrol in the St. Andrews South Police Division when they came upon Mr. Dale in Jewsland community near Worrell Crescent. Mr. Dale is said to have pulled out a revolver and started a running gun battle with the police. The weapon was apparently seized after he was shot along Washington Boulevard. Meanwhile, people in St. James are worried that meat, especially pork that was supposed to be thrown out, would end up on the plates of unwary customers. Residents living close to the parish's retirement dump have voiced their displeasure over a recent incident in which meat that was disposed of there was recovered and brought to market for sale, according to Michael Troop, the minority leader in the St. James Municipal Corporation. Mr. Troop stated that the meat must be buried in order to be properly disposed of during his remarks at the corporation's monthly meeting on Thursday last. Dancehall performer Jamal was arrested by police on Friday and will be questioned about his involvement in gang activity. Officers from the Specialized Operations Division detained the performer, whose real name is Tyvel Dixon, following his performance at the Mecca nightclub on Constant Spring Road in St. Andrew. 11 additional men who lived in the corporate area and St. James were also taken into custody, and one of the performers that helped popularize the term dunce in popular music is Jamal, better known by his stage name News.Mon. Currently not recorded as a suspect, Dixon is the head of the Dunce gang in Barrytown in St. James and is a person of interest in 3 murders according to the police, and he is expected to remain in custody while investigations continue. The police said at least 4 of the men picked up on Friday morning are suspected to be members of the Dunce gang. As you all know, several artists in Jamaica are said to be behind gang violence and murders. A 17-year-old laborer Delroy Ingram, otherwise called Kipper, of 3 Miles Road in Westmoreland, has been charged with murder and arson. The deceased 42-year-old laborer Damian Cohen, otherwise called Skateboard, of Chateau Road in Frome, also in Westmoreland, Cohen met his demise at his home on February 3rd. Reports from the Salomar police are that about 5:20 a.m., residents saw fire coming from Cohen's house and alerted the police and the fire department. On their arrival, the fire was extinguished and Cohen's charred remains was found among the rubble during a cooling down exercise, and the scene was processed and his body was moved to the morgue pending a post-mortem. An investigation and subsequent operation led to Ingram being apprehended in his community and taken into custody 3 days later, and he was charged on February 10 after he gave a caution statement and participated in a question and answer session in the presence of two justices of the peace. Meanwhile, the St. Mary police are seeking two men who attempted to set a house on fire in the community of Grantstown in St. Mary on Friday, February 14. Reports are that between 5:30 a.m., the homeowner, a 34-year-old laborer, heard sounds coming from his kitchen. Upon investigating, he saw two men dressed in black with ski masks pouring a liquid substance inside the kitchen. Upon seeing the homeowner, they lit a piece of cloth which started the fire. The homeowner quickly put out the fire with a fire extinguisher, and the men made good their escape. And reports are that the fire was a reprisal stemming from an ongoing issue with family members of the homeowner and persons from the community where the matter is said to be before the courts. And due to the incident, the St. Mary police imposed a 48-hour curfew. On to sports, Jamaica Under-17 crashed out of the World Cup after losing to El Salvador 2-1 in Guatemala. And it is said that there were some very bad calls by the referee and the boys were jolted and could not stay focused. All Jamaica needed was 1 point or a draw to qualify, but in the last minute of play, they gave up the goal, which must be heart-wrenching to watch. They will now have to go back and focus for the 2026 World Cup. On to Premier League, Chapelton Maroons and Vere played to a 1-all draw. Cavaliers beat Mullines 3-0. Arnett Gardens edged Harborview 1-0. Dunbehodle beat Waterhouse 1-0, while Racing and Portmore played to a 1-all draw. Today we will see top of the table Mount Pleasant take on Humble Lions at Montego Bay Sports Complex, while Montego Bay will do battle with Tivoli Gardens at the same venue. And if you missed the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, subscribe, and keep us going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a good day. I gone.